Kim Coates. I play Tig Traeger, Sons of Anarchy, and you are watching Born to Ride TV.
Thanks for tuning in to Born to Ride TV, the longest running biker TV show in the world. This week,
I am the Pan America, forever exploring. And I am here by the grace of my lineage. I am Harley-Davidson.
Hey man, I think we're in Choppertown.
Choppertown.
Oh, Choppertown.
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 all this and more here on Born to Ride.
Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
You're here by the grace of your lineage. You stand on the backs of those who came before you, the defiant ones, outlaws of adventure, explorers of the unknown. Harley-Davidson defined the motorcycle, but it was you who challenged the destination and rode across continents. You who climbed uncharted mountains, who raged through desert sand, and faced the fury of ice and snow, in the hope of discovering beauty unknown. You are the pathfinders, whose hearts beat to discover new terrain and to find yourself all over again in the emptiness of an open road. It has always been your relentless spirit for adventure that's pushed us to take you further. Why call it adventure touring when it's human nature to seek beyond our limits? I am the Pan America, forever exploring. And I am here by the grace of my lineage. I am Harley-Davidson.
That's what it's about. Look at this. It's been years that I've wanted to do this. I've known it's coming, and I just want to thank Harley for giving me the opportunity to direct the piece that you just saw. It means the world to me. I mean, my job is to act and direct and, filmmaking, and sometimes you're playing other characters, and it's great. But there's nothing like doing your passion, which is riding motorcycles. And to be introducing this bike for Harley and have the opportunity to make a film for them, I wanted to show something that showed the lineage, where it all came from, how we took those bikes, how we pushed them further, whether that be up a mountain, through the desert, just pushing it to all speeds and taking something that Harley created. And it's really the connection between the human spirit and our adventure for touring, and this is finally here. It's the next generation. So those new pathways, and this is definitely the trailblazer right here. So thank you very much, Harley. I love you.
a street bike, you fight to keep it clean, but I almost want to leave the mud on this motorcycle. But I guess that's all part of the adventure touring thing. It's about kind of leaving scars on the motorcycle and bits of history. I'm looking pretty good here. Got to ride over and see the boss. See if I can talk Jochen into taking another ride with me. I'd love to go out and get this thing muddy again. How you doing? Let's do it.
Wow, what a day.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
That was great.
What ride more did you try?
I was in off-road mode. I played with sport mode a little bit, and then we got into some gravel, and I actually put it in like the rain mode. Off-road mode was the best.
My favorite. So we get the fire going?
Yeah, let's do it.
With the introduction of the Pan Am, there's going to be people out there that are going to say, Harley-Davidson is maybe a little late to this game. And, my answer to that is, this is our game. This is the game that we've always played. From our earliest inception of the motorcycle and how the founders used it to prove its mettle, it's been part of us. It's in our DNA.
At the end of the 19th century, you have to remember roads across the United States aren't like they are today. They were not geared for motor vehicles. They were designed for horses, horse-drawn vehicles. You commonly had roads that were nothing more than sand.
You'll see it in the Harley-Davidson marketing literature. Their sales were in competition with a horse and buggy. And so they were saying, don't buy a horse. A Harley-Davidson can get you down that same trail. It can do the same thing and get you to the place where a horse would, and you don't have to feed it, you don't have to clean up after it, and there's just so many more reasons why a Harley-Davidson is a better choice. That's where trail riding comes from. It's from getting on horseback and actually riding trails, and that's where a motorcycle was one step ahead of an automobile, where it needed two trails to get down. The motorcycle could go down that single trail, and it could get you back to your favorite fishing hole or get you to that favorite hunting spot where, where the bucks hid out. It's what the early founders really set out to do. You kind of had a perfect storm. You had an engineering guy, you had a manufacturing guy, you had a dealer guy, and then you had a marketing guy. And he said, if we can prove that our motorcycle is far superior to every other motorcycle out there by being able to handle whatever terrain under whatever conditions, that's what people are going to want. Motorcycle touring, a lot of people think is kind of a new concept. And believe it or not, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel actually had their motorcycle tour of the woods that dates back to 1907. Lake Geneva is, 45 miles away from here, but, that was a day-long trip on a motorcycle in those days.
There's one adventure touring story of part that they had developed called a two-speed hub that, among other places, got its testing with a customer who was crusading in Wisconsin to help prevent the spread of tuberculosis. His name was Ted Worley, and he was an avid outdoorsman. And one of the things he loved about his job is it got him out in the outdoors as much as possible. And he ends up writing a pamphlet on behalf of Harley-Davidson called Camping Hints When Touring with a Motorcycle. And it's everything from how to set up your tent. There was a recipe for soup. There's even a great illustration showing how he set up the luggage on his motorcycles.
By 1920, We're a global company. We've been selling since 1913 in Japan. We've been selling in Brazil. We've been selling in Australia, Europe. And so we start seeing these letters flow into the company. Here's my trip to the Panama Canal. You see, Harley-Davidsons and elephants and all these exotic things. There was nothing holding you back. As long as there was ground and, the motorcycle could conquer it. We talk about on-road or off-road. Well, what's a road? To a motorcycle, what isn't?
When the sport model comes out, a good amount of the advertising talked about these kind of competitive rides they did up a mountain road.
There was a fellow by the name of Charles F. Barrett, and he entered his Harley-Davidson, and he beat out every automobile in the Utica AAA Auto Club hill climb, and he beat them handily. And after that, all the auto clubs, including the AAA, outlawed motorcycles in their hill climb.
In 1930, William H. Davidson, who is the son of William A. Davidson, one of the co-founders of the company, wins the Jack Pine Enduro. And this was an endurance run held in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And by that point, it had grown to have quite a reputation. One of Harley-Davidson's dealers, a woman in Detroit, Michigan, Dot Robinson, would talk about, having competed in the Jack Pine. She talked about, scratches on the arms from tree branches. And the Jack Pine was some of the most grueling terrain that anybody could ride. She competed several times, won it twice.
The stars are shining bright at Crystal Harley-Davidson. Jeff, Bo, and Craig are the Hog Stars. They're offering top dollar for your trade-in. Push it, pull it, drag it, drive it, motorcycles, old cars, trucks, boats, side-by-sides, and more. The Hog Stars are ready to get you riding your new 2021 Harley-Davidson in stock in our showroom now. Ask for the Hog Stars to get the most for your trade. Go to crystalharley.com to find out more.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #BornToRideMotorcycleMedia, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Bike Week, it's Rat Armageddon, Saturday, March 13th, the 48th world-famous Rat's Hole Custom Chopper Show, including the Born to Ride Editor's Choice Award with its very own Rat Trophy. Winner will be featured in Born to Ride magazine, Born to Ride TV taping. It's all sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Think motorcycle. It's happening at Indian Motorcycle Daytona, Beach Street, Saturday, March 13th. Newest attraction on the Nature Coast is Crystal Harley-Davidson, with over 65,000 square feet. Invites you to Bike Night, the second Thursday of every month, starting Thursday, January 14th, 6 to 8 p.m. Free food while it lasts. Music and entertainment by DJ Trey. Bike games, giveaways. Trade in your motorcycle on the spot. Full bar with drink specials. Ride over with your friends. It's Bike Night at Crystal Harley-Davidson, second Thursday of every month. Always ride safe and drink responsibly.
World War II comes along and it changes literally everything for everyone. They took what was the W, as it was called, civilian model, and made a lot of adaptations to it.
They were specifically designed to handle conditions that the military used things like Jeeps for. It has stronger forks, it's got stronger handlebars, it has a skid plate on it, it's got an air cleaner that has an oil bath so it can handle dusty conditions. Luggage racks and gun scabbards and ammo boxes, they all get incorporated so they can handle that terrain.
And they would get letters from servicemen serving in the Pacific, servicemen serving in Europe saying, I was a rider before the war, or maybe they weren't, but they're riding a Harley-Davidson in the military now, and they would report that it's handling it well, and it's really a reliable bike. And you know, those guys wanted reliable vehicles. They didn't want to get stuck anywhere. You never knew when you would get in a tight spot.
So as the interstate system comes into play after World War II, and we start seeing the advent of the superhighway in the United States, you know, Harley has to really pivot. You're starting to make motorcycles that can travel at a higher rate of speed. They can carry multiple passengers and more gear. People are going to go further distances. You know, what might have been a day trip that was 60 miles away, now, you know, you might go 300 miles. You know, in 1956, we sell our first true touring motorcycle where it's sold is the fact. It's the king of the highway. And you get saddlebags, you get a windshield. It's got an extra thick buddy seat so you can take a passenger along. You know, the rise of off-road or motocross racing in the 1970s was a huge boom. And we made scramblers. We made SX 125s, 175s, which were off-road. Probably the most grueling motorcycle race in North America is the Baja 500. Well, a lot of people don't even realize that A, Harley competed in it, and B, they don't even know that we won it one year. And this is usually run by dune buggies and Jeeps, and, you know, so to win that was really a huge thing. So, you know, we were involved in it. And at the time, you know, Harley-Davidson decided to take really a different course and concentrate on more heavyweight touring motorcycles.
Everyone always said, well, you got to make this trade-off. You're either going to be an off-road bike or you're going to be an on-road bike. And to me, that never really made sense, that it had to be this dichotomy of one or the other.
And it was like, hey, there's an opportunity here. You know, this is like a missing link. Frankly, we own the Grand American touring market. We are the market. If you think about power that the company was able to harness and the desirability that the product had at its core through the early 90s all the way through the 2000s, we love that customer. That customer's been incredibly special to us and important to us, but we've got to start thinking about a new customer too. Like, this is something that should have been in our lineup, and all these things came into place, and we eventually said, yeah, let's do this, man. We can absolutely own this.
The way we approached Pan Am was to go off and decide what kind of motorcycle we wanted to build. What are the targets? What are the requirements? What are the things that are going to delight real advocates, people that really have this in their blood?
We want to deliver all the expectations that those customers expect. We want to do it better than the competition, and we want to do it in our own way that's unique. It has to be the Harley way. So that's where the tension was, because a lot of people thought when we said it's got to be the Harley way, it's going to be heavy, it's going to be loud, it's going to have flames on it. And that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about individuality and something that people hadn't done before. You kind of have to find that space in between evolution and revolution. And we had a little more freedom with Pan America because there was nothing that came before it. Whenever you do something that's kind of radically different and unexpected, you're going to shake people up. I remember telling leadership at the time, I said, this is exactly what we want. It's the right bike, it's the right shape, it's the right moment, and it's kind of the right mindset right now with the company. It took a story. I said, hey, first of all, when the company started, there were no roads. That's a great, nice foundational chunk to kind of build this whole thing off of. Second thing was the way that we supported 2 world wars with products that basically invented adventure touring. And then, I mean, we won Baja. And if you think about America and just the vast amounts of land that are unpaved, like this countryside around me, there's just a huge opportunity here. And it is touring, you know, and we kind of invented Grand American touring. And the fact that you're being so polarized about it is a really healthy reaction to have. I believe iconic, innovative design scares the hell out of people at first. And if we don't have that, that means we haven't pushed it far enough.
being an industry-leading company doing touring puts us in a really great position to build an adventure touring bike.
Because it's an adventure touring bike, because it's a tool, because function absolutely has to deliver, we were lockstep with engineering.
The acuity to actually put that engineering into the bike to make it a superior motorcycling experience was a lot harder than people might have thought.
Space Coast Harley-Davidson has the biggest inventory in the state of Florida. And Bike Week 2021, it's endless entertainment in full force. Live music, full liquor bars, food, vendors, and so much more. Amazing stunt riding with Busted Knuckle, free bikini bike wash, super live tribute bands to Kiss, Aerosmith, the 80s metal, plus Tennessee Iron, Blister, and more. Born to Ride, TV taping and magazine shoots. It's all sponsored by Rubenstein Law, representing riders since 1988. Think motorcycle. The Space Coast Harley-Davidson, the largest inventory in the state. Bike Week 2021. Don't miss it. Be there.
Hey y'all, it's Trace Atkins. One reason I'm excited about the High Seas Rally is their commitment to supporting our military and first responders. I'm proud to be helping High Seas Rally's Salute to Service mission, raising money for Wounded Warrior Project, and celebrating our heroes on the front lines. I'll see you in October 2021.
Hey, that's the deal. I was born to ride.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride.